Peace and love, everybody. How y'all doing? I know it's kind of late. I'm up early this morning, man. Went to bed early, got up early. Really couldn't sleep. And it's some things that I want to talk about. It's not so much for the people in our nation, Washa-Shak-Tunak-Pakal, Moors Nation. This is just to the world, man. This is I'm talking to right now the quote-unquote Black American. I've been seeing in the news lately, man, rapper after rapper after rapper after rapper is getting killed left and right. And the crazy part about it is, many of those that know me, y'all know what I practice in regards to spirituality, what I deal with. And, over the years, last 20 to 30 years, going on 30 years, I've shared things with y'all that I've seen that's been revealed to me, either in visions or dreams, a select group of people that's real close to me. Some of these things, I was asked to tell people, man, you need to put this information out, let the people know, warn the people. And I was like, well, nah, I ain't really trying to do all that, I would just tell, like I say, just keep it amongst a small circle of people. But I have to share this because I'm seeing what was told to me manifest right before my eyes. Back in 2005, I remember I was sitting in front of my shrine to the ancestors and Kawo Kabiyesile, ObaShango-El. And I was deep off in meditation. And I started seeing things. I started seeing our people, you melanated people, so-called Black Americans, losing things left and right when it came to wealth. And when I came out of that meditation, I was talking to Sister Arlinda, and I said, I just got a message, man. And it kind of disturbs me. She said, well, what did you receive? I said, the ancestors said that they're going to start stripping so-called black people of their wealth, of their money. They're going to start taking it from them. Some of them to the point where they may lose their lives, but they're going to start taking it. And she said, wow. She said, well, why is that? I said, the ancestors said they're not doing right by it. They told me just to sit back and watch, and I'm going to see what they told me in that meditation come to pass. And they said they want to start taking it because they've had ample amount of opportunity to come together and start resurrecting things like quote-unquote Black Wall Street, the various communities that we have where we could have circulated amongst ourselves and been independent, and they're not doing it. So they're going to start taking their wealth and taking their lives. Now, this was revealed to me back in, I want to say, around about the late summer or early fall of 2005. I want to say late summer, probably late summer 2005. And the crazy part about it is, I'll never forget, in February 2005, we had gone down to New Orleans, and we was down there where Mardi Gras and whatnot takes place. And while I was down there in the streets, I was looking out over the docks, and I saw water come up over the land and flood out the city. And I just went into a blank stare, and I was just looking. And Arlinda tapped me, and she said, hey, you all right? I said, yeah. I said, this place is finna be underwater. I said, real soon, a lot of people gonna die. Well, later on, that's when New Orleans had that flood. And like I said, I was down in February 2005. The thing about it is, with us, our people, man, right now, some of our people, the younger generation, so-called black folks, you know, although we know they're American Aborigine Moors, we know this, but they have fallen off the course of alignment so bad with the ancestors, man, that pretty much the ancestors are disgusted with their behavior. If y'all know anybody in that game, you know, in the hip-hop game, I used to be in the music heavy, still am, still love music. Tell them, man, they need to get right, because the laws don't discriminate. The 42 laws of Mayat don't discriminate. They don't. The 7 Hermetic Axioms, man, of Jehuti, it's real. What you put out, you will get back. And these people are making buku amounts of fiat, which at this current point in time can be used to do something positive, but they're not doing it. So the ancestors is finished. They told me in 2005, in late summer 2005, they're going to start removing their hands. They're going to start stripping them of their wealth, even to the point where some of them, man, may lose their lives. And I'm sitting up here watching it. So if you have any nieces or nephews that want to get off into that game, man, first teach them principles of spirituality and remembrance of the Most High Creatress, creator of the heavens and earth, and your ancestors. If you have any children, sons, daughters that want to get off in that game, teach them, man, to be spiritually grounded first. Because as it stands right now, the veil is very thin between the material world and the world of the ancestors and the spirits. And a lot of times, your ancestors cannot protect you if you're living in your 3 lower chakras. They can't. Because those 3 lower chakras is what really tie you to this realm. You have to be in your heart above, man. Heart chakra above, to actually start communicating and building an open line of communication and transmission between you and that other side, the Most High and the ancestors. I mean, this shit is real. It's not a game. I'm sitting up here watching people lose their wealth. Look at R. Kelly. Look at Bill Cosby. Who else? There's several others, man. PNB, XXX Tentacion, Nipsey, some girl named Lotta Cash that just got killed in Houston. King Von. I mean, there's so many, man. I can't even keep up with it, because it seems like it's every week now. But young people, listen to me. Get your spirit, man, in alignment with the one true creator of everything. Because if it wasn't for the Most High creator of the heavens and the earth and the conduit of your ancestors, you would not be able to prosper as you're doing. And you're going about the steps wrong. I'm just here to tell you. You know, I'm sitting up here watching what I was told in 2005 happened to y'all. Not only happened to y'all, but happened to established artists. Trey Songz, you know, he's on the chopping block. Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, there's so many, man. And see, here's the thing. If these people were in alignment, like we're supposed to be, them 42 laws of Ma'at, they don't care if you've never heard of them or not. That's how the natural law works. It doesn't care if you've never heard of it or not. You are still held bound by it. The principles of spirituality and the 7 Hermetic Axioms, they don't care if you've never heard of them or not. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Y'all have heard that term used in man's judicial settings, but yo, in the spiritual world, that's where it stems from. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. When you're born, you are already innately programmed with a certain set of principles that you have to live by, whether you acknowledge them or not. And failure to acknowledge them can lead to detrimental consequences, from you losing material wealth and things of that nature, even unto your life. I'm sitting up here watching. Another thing that I want to talk about, this is pretty much for Moors or those coming into the paradigm. About, I want to say maybe 2018, I had a dream. And this dream was very, very informative. And it was kind of crazy, but I never had a dream like this before in my life. In this dream, I distinctly remember I was in California. And I was standing in the middle of a road, and the road had a dividing line running straight down through it. One side of the road, the right side of the road, was in color. I could see all the colors, and it was modern times. Cars and everything were moving on the highway and everything, and it was completely in color. The left side of the road was in black and white, and it was set in like the 1800s, like the late 1800s, Western times. So in this dream, I walked to the left side of the road, and I went into this this building. It was like a saloon, like one of them old time saloons you see in Western movies. So I walked in, I sat down at a table, and this Caucasian lady, European lady, came up, and she said, "Hey, hon, what you drinking?" I said, "Oh, just give me some water. I just like some water. I'm kind of thirsty." She said, "Okay, I'll be right back." So I'm sitting at the table. A couple of minutes later, she comes back with a glass of water. And she says, "The gentleman upstairs would like to speak with you." And so I say, "Well, who is he?" She said, "Oh, he's the owner of this place." Said, "He's expecting to see you." I said, "Okay." So she walked away. I sat there and I drank my water. I got up from the table, and I started walking towards the steps, and I started going up the stairs. When I got up to the top of the stairs, there was a door that was closed that looked like it was to a room. So I knocked on the door, and I heard a voice say, "Come in." So I opened the door and went inside the room. And lo and behold, this is crazy, it was John Wayne, the actor. So he's sitting on the bed, taking his boots off. He said, "Come in, young man, have a seat." So I come in, I sit down at the table up there in his room, and turn the chair to him. He takes his boots off and he lays on the bed and stretches his legs. He's tall as hell, man. Dude look like, man, he's probably at least about 6'6", 6'7". And he put his arms behind his head and laid on the pillow. And he said, "Young man, you know why your people don't get any respect from our people?" I said, "No, why is that?" He said, "Because you don't represent your ancestors." He said, "Y'all walk around with your pants hanging down and looking crazy." He said, "When you go back and look at your ancestors, they had on fezzes and turbans, and they had on nice garbs, and they were very business-minded and diplomatic, and they had culture." He said, "Y'all don't represent this day and time." He said, "If you start dressing and acting like your ancestors did, then y'all will get respect from us. Y'all will get respect." So I just sat there and I just listened to it. And I said, okay. I said, is there anything else? He said, no. He said, take that with you. He said, it was nice to meet you. I said, thank you, I will. So I left, closed the door, walked back downstairs, walked out the saloon. And when I came out the saloon, the road was still divided in half. The old 1870s black and white Western style. And the right side of the road was modern times in color. So I walked from the black and white side to the color side, and that was the end of the dream. When I woke up, I called a friend of mine and I told her about the dream I just had. And she said, you need to tell that to the Moors. You need to do a YouTube on this. And I said, nah, man, and people, man, gonna think I'm crazy, man. I be sharing dreams and things I've seen with them. They don't believe in this stuff, man. She said, well, just put it out there. Somebody gonna hear it. It's meant for somebody. So this was, like I said, around 2018. I know it's 2022. It's almost like 4 years later. You know, I should have been shared this information. But the crazy part about that, after the dream, and I told her, she said I needed to share it. We was on the phone, and I got an email from APMEX, Precious Metals. This maybe been about 2 months, about 2 months after I had the dream. They had just released the Signature Series coin, and this was crazy. Get this. The Signature Series coin was a John Wayne coin. 2 months after I had the dream, APMEX drops this coin. So I told her about it. What I just got in the email, she said, that's a sign. That means you need to go ahead and tell it. So I kept putting it off and hemming and hawing around the bush, trying to make excuses why not to share it. So shortly after that, I was on, I think, Twitter, or I forgot what social media, but something had come up about a comment that John Wayne had made about so-called black people, and that we just can't turn the land over to them and start, you know, giving them all the power and bowing down to them first. First, they have to show responsibility. So I told my friend again, hey, man, look at this. Now, this is further down the road after the coin had been released. She's like, man, how many signs are you going to keep getting before you finally share the message? So I said, you right. You know, some told me to look into that man's background. I went and did some research on him, and this dude was a Shriner. He was a Shriner, and he belonged to a huge shrine out there, you know, in California. I went and looked the shrine up and everything. So then it made sense what he was saying to me in the dream and why he said what he said in that interview, the interview about so-called black people and whatnot. It made sense. This man knew about the wars. Now, I'm sharing all this now at this time because I'm watching what the ancestors told me in 2005 play out right before my eyes. Every other week, a young person who has been blessed to be successful using their craft have it taken from them. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. And so hopefully this will reach some young person. They'll listen. Hopefully it'll click and all make sense. But y'all better get right, man. The ancestors is not playing with y'all. They don't even care if you're young, because they don't look at time the same way we do. It's totally different in their realm. So whether you're 20 or whether you're 50, they don't care. Actions is what counts to them. How you move according to those 7 hermetic principles is what counts to them. How you stand before that scale as you walk through your daily life, them 42 laws, that's what counts to them. The Bible and the Quran are just reinforcement of those. You know, for Moors, Noble Drew Ali brought you the old time religion with the 5 principles of love, true peace, freedom, and justice, which all can be found in those 42 laws of Mayat. So get right, people. Get right. And I'm going to leave it at that. Peace and love. Ashe.